The second method for solving a percent problem is to translate directly from the words. Words can be translated into math symbols to form an equation. In the chart below, the words listed in the left column, is, of, and what, can be translated into symbols. Is translates into equals. We use the equal sign. Of translates into multiplication. We use a dot to represent multiply. What is the missing value? We can use any letter as a variable to represent the missing value. Translating will look very similar to what you solved using the percent equation. For example, 25% of 120 is what? Translation, 25 hundredths times 120 equals A. A will be the variable that represents the missing amount. Since we're multiplying the two factors together, 25 hundredths times 120 equals 30. A equals 30. 25% of 120 is 30. Let's try another example. 75% of 200 is what? Again, we're missing an amount. We will represent that by the variable A. 75% is 75 hundredths, of is multiply, and 200 is our base. 75 hundredths times 200 is 150. We solve for A, the missing amount. A equals 150. 75% of 200 is 150. Let's solve a percent problem using direct translation. Here I have 25% of what is 30. Translate 25% into 25 hundredths. Of is multiply. What is the variable B? Is equals our amount 30. We are missing a base. The base is a factor, so we will use division to find it. 30 divided by 25 hundredths equals B. B equals 120. 25% of 120 is 30. Let's try another one. 75% of what is 150? 75% translates 75 hundredths. Of is multiply. B is our missing base. Is equals 150. The base is missing. The base is a factor. We will use division to find the missing factor. 150 divided by 75 hundredths equals B. B equals 200. 75% of 200 is 150. Now let's use direct translation to find a missing percent. What percent of 120 is 30? Let's represent what percent with the variable P. Of is multiply. 120 is equals 30. Our percent is a missing factor. We will use division. 30 divided by 120 equals P. P equals 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths is the decimal form of the percent. We will multiply this by 100 and attach the percent symbol to get 25%. 25% of 120 is 30. Let's try one more missing percent problem. What percent of 200 is 150? Again, let's use p as our variable to represent the missing percent. Of is multiply, 200 is equals 150. Our percent is a missing factor, so we'll use division. 150 divided by 200 equals p. P equals 75 hundredths. 75 hundredths is the decimal form of the percent. To write the percent with the percent symbol, we need to multiply 75 hundredths by 100. 75%. 75% of 200 is 150. Let's use direct translation to solve a percent word problem. Carla ate 20% of the cookies in the box. The full box contained 50 cookies. How many cookies did Carla eat? Let's find out. First, we write a simplified problem. 20% of 50 is what? Then we translate. 20% times 50 equals A. We'll change our percent into the decimal form. 21 hundredths times 50 equals A. After multiplying, we get the answer 10. Carla ate 10 cookies. Let's use direct translation to solve another word problem. Robin drove 50% of the way to Boston before stopping for lunch. Robin stopped for lunch after driving 40 miles. How far is Boston from where Robin began driving? First, write our word problem in simplified form. 50% of what is 40? Do a direct translation. 50% times B equals 40. B is our base. It's a missing factor. We're going to use division. 40 divided by 51 hundredths equals B. B equals 80. The distance from Boston, from where Robin began, is 80 miles. Let's try one more word problem using direct translation. Milo took a test containing 20 questions. He got 17 questions correct. What percent did he earn on his test? First, let's set up a simplified problem. What percent of 20 is 17? Now we'll do a translation. P times 20 equals 17. Because P is a factor and it's missing, we'll use division. 17 divided by 20 equals P. P equals 85 hundredths. This is the decimal form of the percent. Remember, you will need to multiply by 100 in order to attach the percent symbol. Milo earned 85% on his test.